Good morning. Well done for getting here on time. It was a bit of an effort, but we made it. I'm Bob Barnsley, Investment Director of Advantage Business Angels, and I've been involved in trying to help small businesses to raise money for about 30 years. It's a difficult task. I started a Business Angels group in 1993 called the Business Angels Bureau, which ultimately became Advantage Business Angels about 3 years ago. I'm talking today mainly about the co-investment funds, or the funds, not just the co-investment funds, that operate in the West Midlands, which is where I come from. And I'm talking about those because they are replicated in a lot of places around the UK with similar type funds. So we are, as I say, very lucky to have so many. If we look at Advantage Business Angels, we actually commenced trading as that title in 2003, and we were partly funded by the Regional Development Agency itself and partly by an ERDF grant. We operate as a traditional business angel network, but recently we've found great success in forming smaller groups of syndicates, either clubs or syndicates, and we now have 5 operating, all within the West Midlands, and these have got between 8 and 20 angels in them. The most successful one has been operating now for nearly just over 2 years. As a group, as a network, we have now completed in that 3 years our 100th deal, about 3 weeks ago. 75% of them involve syndicated angels, at least one angel, and we are continuing to do deals at the rate of somewhere between 2 and 3 a month. Of the actual funding that was done in those deals, just over 6 million was from angels, and the other funding came from a variety of sources, some of which were co-investment funds. So our total funding to date is around 13 million. The Advantage Early Growth Fund, of which I'm also a director, is a co-investment fund, and it's been absolutely wonderful as far as we're concerned, because if they find a deal, they have to find co-investment. If we find a deal that we can take to them, we can bring the angels, and we're doing a lot of deals with them, and it's working extremely well. I'll come back to that. The Growth Fund is a regional fund. Most of the other regions of the UK now have a growth fund. They're investing up to, first round, up to 250, and can invest a further 250 in a second round. We do some work with them, although they do tend to stand on their own. But the idea, of course, is that through the Early Growth Fund, we bring them on to the Growth Fund as part of the escalator process. It doesn't always work, mind you. We also have a creative fund. This has also been particularly aimed at media-type propositions for film, for TV, for anything to do with arty things. And that is investing quite significantly at the present time, and again at the rate of up to £250,000. You may have heard that our government established a new type of fund recently called the Enterprise Capital Funds. And we were very pleased to be invited by Anthony Clark to be part of the Seraphim Fund, which has raised £30 million. There are 5 established ECFs now in the UK, all in the 20 to £30 million funding, looking at deals that between £500,000 and £2 million. It's based very much on the American civic. I can never remember what civic means, so John, if you're here, you'll tell us later. But it's based on their type of funding, a very original and clever idea in that there are 10 partners as private investors, 5 angel networks, 3 funds, 1 private individual, and another one. I can't remember what the other one is. And they have put up 10 million of the funding, and the government have matched that with 20 million. And the government take a fixed rate of return on their investment and a very small part of the profit. And the private investors take the majority of the profit as and when the fund hopefully makes a profit. We have a long way to go yet, but it's been a very interesting exercise. And it's brought in 120 private investors who've invested into the fund, and that's been a really major step forward both in terms of using angels to fund alongside the public sector, but also we brought a cross-border investment, because John May and his New Vantage group has also joined in, and that has been quite an interesting experience, and we're very pleased to have been involved with that. It has done 1 deal already, more to come. So, how has co-investment worked? Well, as far as Mercia is concerned, we haven't been able yet to do anything with them. It's too early or too late. They were fully funded. But now we're sitting waiting to look at what comes forward with them, because we're sure that there will be some co-investment with them. As far as the Early Growth Fund is concerned, that's been wonderful for us. We made 25, well, we've done actually 25 co-investments with the Early Growth Fund. Some of it's been second round. I think we've probably got 18 actual investments, and the rest is second round funding. And that's, from our point of view, been wonderful. We've nearly £2 million worth of angel money and over £2 million of the Early Growth Fund money, along with others. It's always helps to have that type of investment where you can gear up with a bank, and so you can do deals up to around £500,000 on the basis of that. We've done a couple of deals with the Growth Fund, more difficult because they tend to go their own way, but they do come back to us on occasions and say, would we like to get involved? And we've done 2 with them. With the Creative Fund, we've done 5 with them. Again, £420,000 worth of angel money, and other investments that we have found to go alongside that. And with the Enterprise and Investment Fund, we've so far done only 1 deal, but that was quite a large one, and it was a very satisfying one because it involved 2 other venture funds, and in fact we also took out an existing fund, so it was quite a complicated deal. It cost a lot in lawyer fees, I can assure you. Finally, I suppose it's worth telling you the story about, we have an area of the West Midlands called the Black Country, which is very industrialised, and it's called the Black Country, we think, probably because it was based on coalfields, not because of the population. And we had a very successful Black Country businessman who was being interviewed one day by a newspaper reporter who said, well, Mr. So-so, how did you get so wealthy? What's the secret of your success? He said, well, it's very easy, really. He said, I buy something for £1, I sell it for £2, and it's surprising how quickly those 10% add up. That's me finished.